Police killed while wrapped up in their protective vests.
They did not have the ability to withstand that type of firearm.
Shots fired. Medical, come up to the drive.
Can more lives be saved by understanding when body armor protects and when it can't? Starting tonight, our team of Fox 31 problem solvers expose deadly trends, grabbing the attention of the Justice Department and local law enforcement alike.
And we want to give you a warning right off the bat. This investigative series contains adult content, material some of our viewers are going to find upsetting.
Yeah, sadly, that happens when the topic involves more than 100 dead police officers. Dead, even though they wore ballistic safety gear. Investigative reporter Chris Hosney begins our week-long coverage. Bulletproof.
By analyzing every cop killing in America over the past decade, one number stood out: 137. That's how many police officers have been murdered with a gun while wearing body armor. We eliminated those cases where the fatal shot was to the head, neck, and legs. That left us with 63 officers killed in the line of duty in the areas in which these were built to defend.
Officer down, officer down.
Bullet holes and shell casings only begin to tell the horror story of what happened at this Park County home.
I've been hit.
Facing eviction, Martin Worth opened fire with a .45 caliber rifle on 3 Park County deputies, killing Corporal Nate Kerrigan. He died from one shot through a narrow opening in the armhole of his vest. One of 38 dead police officers we identified over 10 years, killed by a shot that slipped through what's called the Achilles heel of body armor.
Sheriff's Office!
Douglas County Deputy Jeff Pelly, seen here in this dramatic body camera video under fire from a madman.
Open it. I'm bleeding. Where you at?
Is a lucky to be alive casualty of getting shot through the armhole of his vest.
I still have scars. I have marks everywhere. So, I think about that every morning when I get ready, when I go to bed. I think about that night a lot.
Still recovering, Pelly declined to comment on the effectiveness of the protective gear provided by Douglas County to him and his colleagues that New Year's Eve night. But his boss, for the first time for this report, did.
Your deputies go to that door. They don't have the right equipment on to face that threat. Fair?
Knowing what we know now, yes, that's a fair statement.
Matthew, come out!
Sheriff Tony Spurlock told us one of his deputies had a ballistic shield, but it wasn't rated to withstand rifle rounds. And all wore soft body armor made to defend against handgun bullets only. Deputy Zach Parrish was murdered wearing that pistol-resistant ballistics vest, shot through it 6 times at close range with a high-velocity rifle.
There isn't a day that goes by that we don't think about, boy, I wish we had this knowledge today.
Using FBI files, the Fox 31 problem solvers counted another 25 law enforcement officers beyond Zach Parrish killed when bullets penetrated their vests, shot right through the armor into the chest, stomach, and back. 2 of those deaths were related to an ambush on police in Dallas. The remaining are spread all over the U.S., but all have a common theme. The vests don't technically fail. Rather, they were not rated to withstand this long list of bullets fired at police by criminals.
There are some issues around vest design.
Boulder County Sheriff Joe Pelly, Jeff's father, tells Fox 31 rifle rounds have become an all too common threat. To stop rifle rounds, deputies need to have additional, what are called level 3 or 4 hard ceramic plates inserted into or worn over the typical soft body armor. It's a $1,400 addition.
So you just go to your politicians and they just hand you all the money to do that, right?
Yeah, right. No, that's the other trouble. It's very expensive.
With that vest, with just a front plate on, you're looking at about 6 pounds worth of material.
Police ballistics protection maker Angel Armor tells Fox 31 problem solvers one of the keys to limiting armhole exposure is to custom fit armor. Another is to design and offer rifle-resistant plates to be comfortably worn all day and night over soft body armor vests for additional protection against high-velocity threats.
We want to eliminate the thought of, do I go into this traffic stop and put plates on for that extra protection? Do I go respond to a domestic call and throw plates on? just eliminate that decision.
Zach's tragic loss, we have committed ourselves that we are going to continue to take something as tragic as it was, find a way to improve and to save lives in the future.
Both Sheriffs Spurlock and Pelley are in the process of fundraising for rifle-resistant gear, now keenly aware that buying deputies the right protective gear for all situations might cost a lot of money, but not doing so costs so much more.
1721, you are clear for end of watch.
Now, Park County Deputy Nate Kerrigan's family tells Fox 31 Nate was wearing a 10-year-old out-of-warranty and ill-fitting ballistic vest. They believe he may be alive today if the sheriff's office had provided him with the right body armor. There is a lawsuit pending which will settle that accusation. And let's just be honest here. The one to really blame here is Martin Worth. He's the crazed gunman who went in and started firing at the deputies. So perhaps the sheriff's office is to blame in some way in the end, but we know who really is to blame.
As is usually the case with these. You mentioned this is called Bulletproof, and it's going on all week long.
It is. Every night at 9 o'clock we're going to be on. And one of the interesting things here is these really aren't bulletproof. We know that. But that's how officers tell me they feel while they're wearing these. But bullet resistant is really a more accurate term to describe the design of these.
Good point.
A growing and deadly threat for police on the streets. Rifle fire. Now, the science behind ballistics protection gear is committed to catching up.
The 44 mag, it doesn't have as much penetrating power, but it's got more oomph behind it.
Fox 31 problem solvers test what works and what fails. Our exclusive series, Bulletproof, continues right now.
The Department of Justice will soon implement tougher standards for police protective gear like body armor and ballistic plate inserts.
The hope is that by doing so, more officers survive when shot by either a handgun or the greater risk of course, high-velocity rifle rounds. Investigative reporter Chris Helsney tonight giving you a rare look inside one of this country's only body armor testing centers.
This gun sits in the middle of a testing facility at Oregon Ballistics Laboratories. What it's supposed to do is take a 9mm and a .40 caliber bullet and shoot them through this panel and into this soft body armor that police put under their vests. If at 15 feet, these bullets aren't stopped right here, it never hits the market.
Life and death decisions get made here. Police body armor makers send prototypes to Oregon Ballistic Laboratories to get blasted with bullets, dunked to soaking wet, abused, analyzed.
That one performed well?
Oh yeah. Yeah, this is phenomenal.
And shot, and shot, and shot.
Typically in a situation like this, that would be painful, maybe a broken rib, but you would survive.
Pass or fail are the only scores given out.
There is no single most important part of what we do. Everything. If you miss one step, it can be fatal.
Testing director Brandon Birch and his team follow a computer full of detailed protocols, from hand-loading ammunition rounds to laser guiding test bullets to measuring the incredible compression in the clay behind the bullet-resistant materials.
4348.
They forward the results to a division in the Department of Justice.
These standards don't care about the material, they care about the end result. Did it stop the projectile?
Soft body armor passes minimal testing at a 2A level. That standard stops .40 caliber and 9mm handgun rounds from penetrating. Level 2 is better, stronger, protecting against a more powerful .357 Magnum round. 3A is the toughest soft body armor rating, stopping most handgun rounds. This is what happens when the facility finds that failing threshold. A tiny bullet hole in front, a fist-sized hole out the back.
Like I said, you can see just how big that is.
It's our way of giving back to the community. I mean, we get to test armor for a living and possibly save the life of an end user if we do our job correctly.
On this day, testers fired a series of increasingly powerful bullets at Kevlar soft body armor vests And then at rifle-resistant plates.
What round is that?
30 caliber round.
All owned by Fort Collins-based Angel Armor.
You can even see this performed very well. So.
All the structures performed up to and beyond their rating. That gives Angel Armor an advantage when it comes to new, stronger testing rules. The feds don't now, but will soon be requiring these hard armor plates to be designed to stop AR-15 and AK-47 rifle rounds, the greatest growing threat to law enforcement.
I'll throw out a word.
Okay.
Bulletproof.
It makes me cringe. Fairly confident I could get some sort of bullet through pretty much anything.
Angel Armor's Devin Allison says the key to saving law enforcement lives is to create lightweight, affordable protective gear, plates and vests that the officers will actually wear all day long.
Our goal is to give an officer as much protection as possible, as much coverage area as they can still do their duty.
That's almost as important as being certain that whatever bullets are fired their way are captured, mushroomed, as they say, inside the protective gear before they have a chance to pierce the human body.
We want to provide them with the chance to go home and see their loved ones again.
A worthy mission that starts in this controlled lab, but only comes true when the protective gear saves a life on the streets.
Now, not unlike the auto industry, police body armor gets constant scrutiny from federal regulators. After the ballistics gear gets approved to sell, inspectors sneak out and follow up, retesting police vests already on the market to make sure the prototypes live up to the strength of the actual manufactured product being worn in the field. We even found a little-known list of recalled vests. In many of those cases, inspectors found problems with weak seams or deteriorating performance due to sun, heat, and/or moisture. Chris Halsney, Fox 31.
Our Bulletproof series continues tomorrow with a look at which Metro Police departments do the most to protect their officers.
We don't have an option at our police department whether or not you wear a vest. You wear a vest anytime you're in uniform.
30 nail gunshot wounds to the arm and chest.
But some departments don't require officers to wear body armor or even want to tell us about what kind of body armor they use. 23 departments surveyed tomorrow night on Fox 31 News at 9.
And right now on KDVR.com, we've posted video from a high-speed camera showing exactly how bullets react to different ballistic materials. You'll see an interactive map there detailing why police are being killed despite wearing body armor. Check back each night this week for additional content from our Bulletproof Problem Solvers investigation. Thanks for staying with us. I'm Jeremy Hubbard.
And I'm Aristea Brady. You know, ballistic vests can vary a lot, and so do the policies among police departments. Tonight, investigative reporter Rob Lowe with the departments who spend the most and the upgrades some are now adding to counter violence against police. Rob?
Aristea and Jeremy, we surveyed 23 police departments across the metro, and most have policies mandating the use of ballistic vests, but not all. Tonight, a look at who's doing the most to protect their officers.
What's your first name again? Matthew. Matthew. Zach, good to meet you.
It was the death of Douglas County Deputy Zachary Parrish that got the problem solvers thinking about ballistic vests.
Sheriff's office!
He was hit by a volley of rifle rounds, several of which pierced his ballistic vest.
Hey, Steve, it's Greeley Police Department. Are you in there?
4 months later, we were allowed to film Greeley police officers training under the same scenario Zach Parrish faced. A despondent person well armed, but unseen behind a bedroom wall. And the first time, it did not go well. An officer hit by a paint bullet, and the exercise quickly over.
So what we tried to do was recreate the shooting that took place in Douglas County.
Every officer is armed with a fake gun, but real body armor to keep the training as real as possible.
When you guys started taking rounds through the walls, it was confusing.
Stephen Perkins wants his officers to learn to leave and get out of harm's way before the bullets start coming. But if they do, he knows the vest they wear can make all the difference.
We don't have an option at our police department whether or not you wear a vest. You wear a vest anytime you're in uniform.
Even on the shooting range, cops are required to wear vests, both for safety reasons and to mimic their shooting motion if they ever have to fire a weapon in the field. Of the 23 agencies surveyed by the problem solvers, Greeley spends the most per officer, $920. Its patrol officers wear level 3A vests in the field, strong enough to stop handgun rounds, but then they have additional gear in the patrol cars.
Let's say they're going into a real hot situation where there's, SWAT has not arrived and the situation has gone downhill. They're able to put this on over their regular 3A vest.
The secondary vest is a ceramic plate to stop rifle rounds, and they've added helmets too. Both are recent additions.
It's a lot more protection than we've had in the past.
So if you don't have it on, it's not going to help you.
Greeley Police Chief Jerry Garner has written multiple books about officer safety and wasn't surprised to learn his department ranked first in our survey.
We've got bad guys that are very much willing to take on the police, and many of them are armed. And when you see that going on, you've got to give your people the best that you can.
We surveyed 23 departments across the Front Range. 4 don't mandate officers wear ballistic vests. Denver, Lakewood, Thornton, and Adams County Sheriff make it optional. Though we should add, those departments say more than 95% of their officers choose to wear vests. Most agencies require a level 3A vest, like this one, strong enough to stop handgun rounds, but not rifle rounds. Some agencies refuse to say what they provide. In an email, Denver stated, these tactical details can be accessed by individuals who seek to stop officers from performing their public safety duties and to injure or kill officers.
So recently we purchased these.
But others, like Commerce City, want the public to know it just spent $50,000 to buy rifle vests and helmets for all of its officers, in addition to the 3A vests they already wear.
The public is becoming a lot more violent, and we feel like the officers need to have the equipment to be able to appropriately respond to that.
In fact, Commerce City has even added bullet-resistant Kevlar to its door panels, giving officers even more protection.
And if they get any kind of sense of something's going bad, they can remain here and give verbal commands.
Said that when they took the vehicle, they shot at them and put a bullet through the bumper.
It was 2 months ago when Officer Kurt Holland put on his additional gear for the first time, responding to a carjacking where a suspect named Travis Elliott had already fired his gun.
All Commerce City officers need to have their additional tech vest on.
We're dealing with somebody that's got a firearm and is obviously willing to use it. It's nice to have a little more protection.
Forward, hunt!
Holland knows there's no such thing as a bulletproof vest.
Men and women of the Sheriff's Office are forever grateful and proud to have served with Deputy Parrish. We will never forget his ultimate sacrifice.
But he also knows a helmet and a rifle-resistant vest might have given Zach Parrish a fighting chance. Today's vests now have a 5-year warranty, so most departments require their officers to trade up every 5 years. If you'd like to see how the 23 agencies rank, visit our website, kdvr.com. Rob Lowe, Fox 31.
There's a guy out front with a gun who's ready to kill a bunch of people. And are you inside the residence? No, I'm the guy with the gun.
A bad guy armed with a rifle that can pierce a cop's vest.
30 nail gunshot wounds to the arm and chest.
A bullet that would have, if it hadn't gone through a windshield first. And a police officer lucky to be alive.
You really don't want to skimp when you've already been through something that's bad and survived.
A former Lakewood police officer shot in the chest. Why the particular vest he was wearing made all the difference.
It is quite a story. Thanks for staying with us for live local news at 9:30. I'm Jeremy Hubbard.
And I'm Aristea Brady. This week, the problem solvers have been bringing you stories about these so-called bulletproof vests, how they vary, and how department policies continue to evolve.
Tonight, investigative reporter Rob Lowe with the story of one man who believes upgrading his vest saved his life. Rob?
Jeremy, Lakewood Police gave John Key a choice between 2 types of vests. One, like this one, a 2A, provided much more comfort, but the other, this 3A, provided a lot more protection, and Key says it probably turned out to be a life or death choice.
Lakewood 911.
He said, I don't want to live anymore.
There's a guy out front with a gun who's ready to kill a bunch of people. And are you inside the residence? No, I'm the guy with the gun.
I had pulled up on scene and was basically had my foot on the brake when I started taking the rounds.
30 nail gunshot wounds to the arm and chest.
John Key never got a chance to get out of his car before he was shot on July 5th, 2014.
For sure my vest. My vest made a huge difference.
Are you listening to me, Gordon?
I am.
Key was responding to a welfare check, having no idea Gordon Mensch, intent on suicide by a cop, already had a rifle pointed at Key's patrol car. when he arrived on this Lakewood street.
Thank God I went through the windshield first. The most concealable soft body armor vests are not designed to handle rifle rounds.
It was a .762 rifle bullet that hit Key, normally strong enough to penetrate his vest.
What level of vest were you wearing?
It was a 3A.
A level 3A turned out to be a lifesaver, and that's probably only because the windshield slowed the bullet down. The problem solvers went to the Oregon Ballistic Laboratories in Salem, where experts test different vests. Those rated as a 2 or 2A can stop small handgun rounds. The 3A can stop most handgun rounds, but neither stops a rifle round.
Complete.
Only a level 3 or 4 vest can stop a rifle round, which is what struck John Key.
It hit me right here. I still have the scar from where it kind of gouged out my chest. So if that had penetrated right here, you know, depending on what it hit, 10 seconds, maybe I would before I bled out. To the best of my knowledge, the department's policy is that wearing the vest is kind of optional up to each one of us.
4 years later, that's still true. The Fox 31 problem solvers found Lakewood PD is one of the few police departments that doesn't require body armor. Instead, it gives officers a $700 voucher and leaves it up to each cop to choose what they might buy.
I'm very thankful that I was wearing a 3A instead of a 2A.
But after he was shot, he spent his own money, $1,000, to buy an even better vest with a rifle-resistant plate designed to stop the very round that nearly took his life.
What motivated me to buy it was getting shot hurts, and if I was going into a situation that had a high likelihood of shots fired, or we knew shots were already being fired for like an active shooter type situation, I wanted something a little extra to throw on than just my vest, my soft body armor vest.
Today, Key works for the Department of Revenue doing marijuana enforcement. A less dangerous job for sure, but even that agency just started equipping its officers with rifle plates.
This is actually designed for rifle rounds.
Key hopes in the future more departments will increase spending on officer safety to give every cop a better chance with better equipment.
If you wear a badge, I mean, these days, you're a target.
The National Institute of Justice says over the past 3 decades, 3,000 officers have been saved by wearing some type of ballistic gear.
All right, Rob, thank you.
Colorado state troopers are asking for better protection from new deadly threats on the street and finally getting it.
I always have a sense of urgency. We're supposed to accelerate everything, but at a certain point you say, oh my God, enough.
How the death of 3 Colorado peace officers in 5 weeks this year sparked consensus at the legislature. Join the Fox 31 Problem Solvers team for our investigation, Bulletproof. Tomorrow night at 9.
And don't forget, right now on KDVR.com, you can revisit all of this week's Bulletproof series with 2 interactive maps, one showing all the officers killed across the entire country over the last 10 years, shot through their protective armor, and one showing which 23 agencies across the Front Range, what they do to protect their officers.
And police departments tell the problem solvers the biggest limitation to body armor for them is that they rarely have enough money, as you heard Rob say, to provide the proper gear for the proper threat. Well, as you know, Fox 31 trying to help through a campaign called Support the Shield. Rob talked about that too. The ballistic gear this campaign purchases for officers has the highest rating available. It offers protection against rifle fire. To learn more, you can go to KDVR.com. We've already given 80 different officers vests thanks to your very generous donations. We want that number to increase.
As we've said, nothing's bulletproof,
right,
but it can help.
And much better.
We know that.
State lawmakers just wrapped up business for the year. They disagreed on many things, but realizing they needed to start allocating more money for police body armor protection wasn't one of them.
When a sniper, using a protest as his stage, opened fire on Dallas police in July of 2016, 4 of the 5 officers killed were wearing soft body armor vests. None of their gear was rated to withstand high-velocity rifle fire. The Texas governor's office responded by budgeting $25 million, handed out no strings attached, to any peace officer wanting rifle-resistant plates or hard-body armor protection. Following the death of 3 Colorado police officers in the span of 5 weeks this year, Governor John Hickenlooper also saw a need.
At a certain point you say, oh my God, enough. what are the results? We don't have to triple check them. Let's go out there and make sure the people that are putting their lives at risk for the safety of the public, that we're doing everything we can to protect them.
Hickenlooper fast-tracked $380,000 to fund new rifle-resistant plates, vests, and ballistic helmets for the Colorado State Patrol, and he vows it's only a start.
At a certain point, quality costs money, and if your people's lives are at stake, you've got to make sure they've got the best body armor there is.
That's the kind of support Greeley Police Chief Jerry Gardner wants to see more of.
I think this is kind of what they expect, that if we're going to do the job, you need to give us the best equipment that you possibly can. And we try and do that with vehicles, with weapons, with body armor. We just try and give them the best that we possibly can.
By polling 23 of the largest police agencies in the state, the Fox 31 problem solvers discovered the amount of money allocated to police body armor varied widely. Greeley was the best funded and equipped, while departments like Denver and Lakewood didn't pay for the best body armor and don't require police wear any protection, telling officers it's optional.
My vest made a huge difference.
Former Lakewood police officer John Key was hit with a bullet sitting inside his car. He was wearing a vest he paid extra money from his own pocket to upgrade. In his opinion, a decision that saved his life.
You really don't want to skimp when you've already been through something that's bad and survived.
Officer down, officer down.
Data shows in the past 5 years, more officers are being killed while wearing their soft body armor vests, rated to stop handgun rounds, but not most rifle bullets.
Like the AR-15, AK-47, they're really small caliber bullets with a tremendous amount of velocity, and that's why they penetrate the vests and the shields.
Armor makers tell Fox 31 they expect new federal rules this year requiring rifle plates to withstand greater force or be taken off the market. The unknown is, when will all police officers start wearing the protection they need to stay alive when things go very wrong?
If you'd like to get a better understanding of the flaws and successes of police body armor, go to KDVR.com and catch up on our series, Bulletproof. Chris Halsney, Fox 31.
U.S. Senator Cory Gardner wants all police officers to have bulletproof vests strong enough to stop a rifle round. The Colorado Republican plans to introduce legislation that would pay for what's known as Level 3 body armor, and it would be for all law enforcement. His announcement comes just days after Fox 31 featured a week-long series that we called Bulletproof. Investigative reporter Rob Lowe has details on what the senator is proposing. Rob.
Aristaeus, Senator Cory Gardner made his announcement in Washington, D.C. during National Police Week, saying he wants law enforcement to know he has its back. During our series Bulletproof, we told you 63 police officers nationwide have been killed over a 10-year period by bullets that penetrated their body armor or hit them in the armhole. A big reason why is because the vast majority of those cops were wearing Level 2 type vests, which stop handgun rounds but not rifle rounds. Of course, we remember Zachary Parrish in Douglas County. He was killed New Year's Eve after 6 bullets penetrated his vest. Now, Senator Gardner wants to spend $1 billion to upgrade officer vests nationwide.
Many small communities, small departments don't have the resources they need, so our legislation will help provide additional resources to do that.
Gardner's bill would also double funding for advanced body armor research from $1.5 million to $3 million. Colorado has seen 10 officers shot and 3 killed in less than 6 months. The senator says buying Level 3 rifle-resistant plates for law enforcement nationwide will save lives. Rob Lowe, Fox 31.